Hello my fellow Retromaniacs and welcome to Let's Read Donkey Kong Country Manual. And this is another game that I used to own, but I only had the cartridge. I never had the box or the manual, so yeah, it's interesting to see what it is going to be. So let's I just love this this pre-rendered graphic style. I wish Donkey Kong Returns would have had this art style. It's so beautiful. And I'm listening to Radio Nintendo, so that's appropriate for this stream. I think this is Super Metroid soundtrack playing, but it changes. It's a radio, so okay, it's Cranky Kong. Look at the fancy box. Look at the size of this instruction manual. You don't think they would have gone to all this trouble if the game was any good, do you? Okay, what's inside? We've got story, getting started, control, functions, Donkey Kong, introducing Diddy Kong. Items, but wait, there's more. Donkey Kong Country Atlas, Trusty Animal Friends. Yeah, I wish I had this manual, but unfortunately it was pretty common in the 90s. You would go to some, play a game store, and they would sell like used cartridges, and most of them would come without any box or manual. I had I think most of the games I had came without a box, because I was quite late. I think I had Super NES in 1996, so that was in the late lifespan of the console. So by that time, I think you wouldn't find new games. Maybe Yoshi's Island was new back then, but most of the games were like 4 or 5 years old already. Okay, we got a story time. It was a dark and stormy night. So yeah, of course the game itself doesn't have any story. You just cross from the your home, and then you would find in the cave that your bananas are gone. But here we got some good background story. Storms lasted the rugged terrain of Donkey Kong Island, home of the famous video game Ape and his family and friends. Near Donkey Kong's treehouse, a small monkey named Diddy, caught in fear of the savage lightning, which periodically illuminated the lush, dark jungle that covered most of the island. Donkey Kong had assigned Diddy to guard duty on this awful night, and he was not happy about his fate. Oh, Diddy, you have one job and you failed. Donkey Kong's earlier pep talk kept creeping back into Diddy's mind. Okay, little buddy, Donkey had said in his patronizing voice. As part of your hero training, you've got to stand guard tonight over my bananas. I'll relieve you at midnight, so try and stay awake until then. Buddy? Yeah, right. Now he was alone. A alone unless you counted the unknown threats which lurked behind every tree that he glimpsed during the lightning flashes. The gremlins were out there. This much was certain. They coveted, it's a weird word, coveted Donkey Kong's banana stockpile, the largest on the island, and probably in the world. A treasure in potassium and vitamin A, the perfect food. Ah, delicious bananas. The thought of DK's golden hoards almost made Diddy forget his uncomfortable situation, but a rustling in the undergrowth and the sound of several snapping twigs brought him out of his reverie. It's very, very like poetry style intro. Who goes there? Diddy challenged the sounds in the darkened dripping foliage. Whoa, this... You really need a dictionary here, because they are quite interesting words used here. There was no answer but the flashing of the claws and teeth, followed by a fleeting vision of many reptilian eyes and crack of thunder. Diddy somersaulted into the fray with his signature cartwheel attack, but he was quickly overcome by the weight of many scaly assailants. The enormous bulk of Clump, the gremlin, landed on the top of Diddy, knocking him senseless. His last memory was of a hissing voice. "It's the small one. Sail him inside this barrel and toss it into the bushes. Donkey Kong's bananas are ours." The barrel lid closed on Diddy, blotting out even the fleeting light of the storm. Seconds later, the barrel flew through the air, courtesy of Clump's army boot-assisted punt, and landed roughly in the jungle foliage. Diddy Kong knew no more. It's like reading some novel. The entire Donkey Kong clan was oblivious as the gremlins then loaded the banana horde into their gremlin carts and wheeled them off through the jungle, leaving an obvious trail of dropped fruit from their overloaded conveniences. Okay, so this is supposed to be like the reason why there are bananas that you can collect in the stages, but it doesn't explain why some of the bananas are in midair, like defying gravity. But you know, it's a video game. It makes only sense when it has to. The next morning, Donkey Kong was awakened by frantic shouting of his name. "Keep it down!" he growled. He suddenly realized what time it was. "Morning already? I slept through my watch." Falling out of bed and through his treehouse door, Donkey Kong slid down the treehouse ladder without using any of the rungs, and assumed his characteristic fighting pose with sun-blinded, squinting eyes. One swift blow was all that was needed to leave him sprawled on the floor, face down. He groggily rolled over to see the familiar, wrinkled, white-bearded, grouchy face of his old granddad, Cranky Kong, peering down at him. In his heyday, Cranky was the original Donkey Kong who battled Mario in several of his own games. Okay. this doesn't give a hint of who was the middleman, so who was the son of Cranky and father of Donkey. What ya doing that for? Donkey Kong asked, knowing full well that Cranky was prone to cuffing him at every whim. Take a look inside your banana cave. You're in for a big surprise, Cranky cackled. Donkey's mind raced as he vaulted to the cave and peered inside. Instead of the dull, golden glow of thousands of bananas, there were only a few discarded peels. These had been trampled into the dirt by hundreds of reptilian feet, judging from the many three-toed footprints that covered the damp cavern floor. But what about... Diddy's gone too, Cranky laughed. And that's what you get for shirking your responsibility, you good-for-nothing bum. In my days, we would have been happy to stand guard in the rain, because that might have meant having an extra frame of animation. Of course, having rain would have been impossible, given our pitiful processing power, but... Cranky, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You are not a video game character. Or am I? Donkey Kong stood there in stunned disbelief and hadn't heard most of what Cranky said. Did it? Go on, my little buddy, he murmured to himself. Donkey Kong was suddenly filled with a conviction. The gremlins will pay, he raged. I'll hunt them down through every corner of my island until I have every last banana from my hoard bag. Find your little buddy and retrieve a bunch of bananas? Cranky snorted. What kind of game idea is that? Where's the screaming damsel in distress? This is not a Mario game, Cranky. Who's talking here? Diddy's obsession with being like me has gone too far. He may be a long way from... Oh, I think that's Donkey Kong. Diddy's obsession with being like me has gone too far. He may be a long way from being a true video game hero, but he had the guts, the reflexes, the heart. If you ask me, neither of you are ready for prime time, Cranky interrupted. You'll never be as popular a character as I was. Why, in my heyday, kids lined up to play my games. The quarters were stacked on the machine as they waited for their turn. If you go on this ridiculous adventure, you'll be lucky to sell 10 copies. Like, this rare meta humor, it's priceless. Donkey Kong fumed. He usually let Cranky's rambling roll off his back, but this time was different. What do you know about adventuring, you flippin' old ape? Yelled Donkey Kong, edging closer and closer, braving Cranky's cane, until he was totally in his face. I'm sick of hearing about your boring single-screen adventures. Diddy's in trouble. My banana hoard is gone and I'm going to get them all back. Donkey Kong stormed off in search of his missing buddy, following the trail of bananas the gremlins had dropped. Well, it's not exactly rescuing a princess, but it'll do in a pinch. Cranky snorted as DK disappeared in the lush jungle. After a moment's hesitation, Cranky followed him. The lad may just need my help, he mumbled to himself. Kids today, they just don't have any respect for their elders. You've only reading this because you're bored. Yes, indeed I am. Who would read manuals? Who would stream oneself reading a manual of a 25-year-old game if he wasn't bored? Okay. Getting started. We made this game super easy to get it into. Yes. Alright. Yeah. I never actually liked the two-player mode because it wasn't co-op. Well, you could play like switching by pressing select button, but you know, it wasn't like some beat 'em ups where you can control both characters at the same time, so that was pretty disappointing. I wonder if there's been a two-player co-op, you know, game hack for this one, because there is a two-player hack for Super Mario Bros. And I think Super Mario Bros. 3 as well. I don't know if it's possible to do two-player hack. It's always a problem because the camera is probably controlled by the first player, so there's gonna be some problems if the second player goes outside the camera. Okay. Map screens.
I wouldn't believe a word of this. I've been everywhere and I found only 2 locations. Bad ones at that.
Okay. You, Dreamly. Well, that's quite obvious. Where's the score bar? Life meter? Speedometer? Crawled off the screen where they belong. That's where. When you do collect bananas and extra life or other goodies, the indicator symbol will momentarily scroll onto the screen. Some of the symbols you will see are banana counter. Yeah, but yes, there's no life meter because it's a single hit death. Of course, it's two hit death if you have Diddy. Or Diddy with Donkey. DK, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is here. Life balloons. Basic functions. You can probably figure out the controls yourself. Okay, espresso, Rambi. Did they mention the name of the espresso inside the game? I don't remember. Maybe there was like some references by Cranky or Funky or someone else, or Wrinkly.
Well, I've never seen so much rubbish. A good day game shouldn't need any explanation.
Start. What else? Pause. Winky. I always found Winky the best. Just love how he skips. It's a neat animation. The star, Donkey Kong. The king of swing. The thriller gorilla. The prime primate. It's Donkey Kong. But this is not your father's Donkey Kong. Although he's a relative of the classic arcade character, Country's Donkey Kong is a totally new character with a new look, new moves, and new attitude. Radical. Everything was radical in the 90s. Donkey Kong's moves. It would be funny if I would find out that there's like some special move that I wasn't aware of. But I think I've played the game enough to find all the secrets. But you know, it's possible when you read the manual, you might learn new things about the game. Of course, if you watch other people playing or let's play videos, then you probably will find the secrets as well. But yeah, there's probably many secrets in the game. For example, some extra lives that I would never figure out how to get. But that's not very relevant, you know. And with emulators, you don't need lives at all because you can always, pick load if you fail, unless you wanna play it like old-fashioned way, not using quick saves. They throw barrels. They really put a lot of effort for this manual. So many these pre-rendered art pictures here, for strength. Introducing Diddy Kong. Although he would never admit it, Diddy Kong is a Donkey Kong wannabe. His ambition in life is to be a video game hero, just like the big guy. And although Donkey Kong would never say it to Diddy's face, the kid has potential. He's fast, agile, and has the heart to be a world-class video game hero. He just needs a little more experience and, of course, exposure. Yeah, I think Diddy was quite successful, sidekick, because he got like a whole game and his own racing game as well, and I think he's also in Smash Brothers, so that's pretty good. Cartwheel attack, jump, run, wing, whim, yes. Tag team. Barrels and kegs. Regular barrel. TNT drum. Cannons continue barrel. Yeah, I didn't realize how the barrels were like a theme of the game. Yeah, even the airplane has a barrel inside, or like merged with the plane, which really doesn't make sense. But wait, there's more. Bananas. Banana. Oh, banana. The trail of bananas left by the thieving gremlins will also guide you on your way. Yeah, and usually if they stop near the, near the like rock wall, it's probably a secret cave there. Letters. Balloons. Blue balloon will earn you 3 extra lives. Yeah, they were quite difficult to find, if I remember correctly.
I can't believe you're still reading this. What you need is a good dressing.
Animal tokens. Yeah, I love these bonus levels, they were so fun.
Bonus levels. Don't hold your breath looking for these, there are none.
Donkey Kong Country Atlas. Jungle. Donkey Kong's home in the jungle, where he is master of all his survives, or so he thinks. You start your adventure in Jungle Hijinks, which introduces you to the play control of the game. This is also a great place to earn some extra lives if you come back to it later in the game. Yes, I would usually do that. Because in the very beginning you are given, the life balloon quite generously. In the jungle you'll find many vines strung between the palms that are great for swinging over trouble areas. You'll find a wide variety of ecosystem in Donkey Kong Country. Though the island itself is mainly tropical, there are great pine forests on the slopes of snow-capped peaks. The mountains are riddled with mines, natural tunnels and caves. Surrounding the island are many tropical lagoons full of reefs and colorful fish. Following are general description of the area. Okay, but why was there like temple area? Because if there's a temple, there's supposed to be like some civilization there. But is it old Donkey Kong's civilization, or are they humans, or maybe Kremlins? I don't know. But this will tell you. Factory. The Kremlin's crowning industrial achievements are the huge factories they built in Donkey Kong Country. These factories do not adhere to strict safety codes and are full of burning oil drums, falling lightning, and perilous platforms. Enter at your own risk. So the Kremlins, did they build these factories after the events of the stealing the bananas, or have they been here in the island for like decades? It really doesn't tell you that. Underwater. While the underwater areas of Donkey Kong Country are some of the most beautiful, they are also some of the most dangerous. The waters are infested with sharks, piranhas, killer octopi, and the stinging jellyfish. Swim with care. Luckily, your animal friend in card, the swordfish, is there to help you. Yeah, the most beautiful, and especially the music. Mountains. The snow-capped peaks at Donkey Kong Country are rarely climbed due to the hazardous conditions found at such high elevations. The ground is like solid ice and does nothing to offer a firm foothold for the explorer. Blinding blizzards often strike without warning. The resulting lack of visibility can make the already challenging obstacles in these areas next to impossible. Yeah, I really like this art style here, it's very so cool. I think Sam Miller has remastered Donkey Kong Country soundtrack, but I wish someone would remaster the art and the backgrounds. Like it to be like they are presented here. But I think it's impossible. Because these are not like rendered, they are made specifically for this game or this manual. Wait a second. Why this is called Donkey Kong Country and not Donkey Kong Island? I don't know. Maybe they are not sure. Maybe the one who wrote this didn't realize that it should be called Donkey Kong Island and not Country. Or maybe it's the same thing. Treetops. In the lofty treetops of Donkey Kong Country you'll find a deserted town of wooden platforms and huts, origin unknown. Oh, I thought they were for Evox. But while the original inhabitants may be gone, the place is teeming with gremlins and their friends, ready to ambush anyone who trespasses here. The barrel cannons are particularly tricky in the treetops. Caves. Donkey Kong Island has so many caves, tunnels and mines, it's almost like a giant block of Swiss cheese. There are many types of caves, including some made out of solid ice. Caves have many secret passages, and of course they are full of gremlins. Tires play an important part in spelunking through the caves. Use their enhanced bouncing ability to reach out of the way places. This is such beautiful re-rendered, you know, this. It's almost like Pixar style quality. It's quite disappointing if you have seen the Donkey Kong Country TV series. It's nothing like this. It's ugly as hell. But you know, they probably didn't have Pixar kind of budget for the show. Come on. Mines. What the? The vast mines of Donkey Kong Country are now stripped of any ore they may have once contained. All the tools of the miners remain. Miners? So who are these? Human? Ape? Gremlin miners? However, from mine carts to rickety scaffolding, there are special barrels that turn the lights on and off, and risky mine elevators full of slag. Without a hard hat, mine exploration is not recommended, but Clump is not about to give up his. Okay, but you never use any helmet in the game. So, runes. These monolithic ruins are now ruled by millstone rolling nafty beavers. Of course, ruins are well known for their treasure, and you can find many forgotten items in these haunted buildings of wine-covered stone. Okay, no background information about why these exist. Looks like, yeah, they're gremlins origin. So wait a second. Was this island actually inhabited by gremlins and only later, like conquested by Donkey Kong clan? I don't know. There are dozens of bonus levels, because you know that would make sense why they want to come back to the Donkey Kong Island to take it back from DK. There are dozens of bonus levels hidden in Donkey Kong Country. Some are easy to find, others are almost impossible. All will give you extra lives, bananas or other surprise items. Your trusty animal friends. There are 5 friendly animals in Donkey Kong Country that will help you on your way. While they will usually show up in an area you might expect to find them in, they can also be found in some pretty unusual places. When you see a crate with an animal symbol on it, jump on the crate to break it open and you'll mount up automatically. Press the A button to jump off the animal. Yeah, and then they would, you know... Sometimes you would just control the animal, for example. In the bonus stage, you are not... you don't mount them. And also Donkey Kong Country 2, you'll just transform to the animal. So yeah, Rambi, Espresso, Incard. You won't find Incard anywhere but underwater. It's funny, if you hack the game, you can like swim with Incard in normal stages. It's pretty weird. I think some of the hacks even involve of you know, you can shoot things. I think, yeah. Or you can be the Funky's plane and shoot things, so it's pretty weird what they can do with the ROM hacks. Corruptions. Winky the Frog. He can jump attack some enemies that even Donkey can touch. Quacks the Parrot. Quacks is the one animal that you cannot ride. Yeah. The Kong family. Funky Kong, Donkey Kong's bronze-tanned, sunglasses-wearing surf punk friend, usually hangs out at Donkey Kong Country's many beaches. However, he also operates a special battle flight service which will allow Donkey and Diddy to travel back to any level in the game that they have already finished. Although Funky hates to go on adventures himself, he's too laid back. He keeps up on the island scene and may have useful information at times. Candy Kong. Candy Kong is the banana of Donkey Kong's size, and one of his closest friends. Although everyone assumes that they will get married someday, Donkey Kong's just not ready to settle down yet, in Candy's opinion. Candy is also very fond of Diddy, and would pinch his little cheeks at every opportunity, if she had the frames of animation to do it. Donkey and Diddy will meet up with Candy often as they search for their missing bananas. When they do, Candy will give them a chance to save their progress through the game so far. All you have to do to save is jump into Candy's save barrel. Cranky Kong. Donkey Kong's grouchy puppy is actually the original Donkey Kong who starred in the many Donkey Kong arcade classics of the 80s. He considers those games the pinnacle of game design and will have nothing to do with the new fangled graphics, sound and multiple button controllers of today's Nintendo mega hits. Donkey Kong will encounter Cranky throughout his adventure at his many cabins scattered across Donkey Kong Country. Cranky will usually be grateful for the chance to converse, specifically to get on Donkey's case about the state of games today. Although most of Cranky's conversations are hot air, he will occasionally drop a hint or two about the game, as he is anxious to pass on his game proneness to the younger generation of game fans. His problem is, he only has a 3-frame walk, so he can't participate in the action. Oh, that's the reason. So I haven't played actually Donkey Kong Returns, but I think you can actually play with Cranky. I think I have seen videos of him being able to be controlled. Cranky can chew your ear off if you give him a chance, so once you get tired of him, just take off. Yeah, and it's like a joke in the later games as well. I think Donkey Kong 64. He also jokes about games these days.
Tired of me? You're unlucky I'm here to brighten up this boring manual.
Oops. Okay, baddies galore. King K. Rool, the supreme commander of Gremlins and mastermind of Banana Ice Haste. Okay. But we will... Thankfully you don't need the manual to learn these names, because in the credits they will show all the enemies. And their names as well. Monkey Kong. These Kong reject orangutans. Do you know how to roll out the barrel? Yeah, I don't know why they are rejects. Maybe they are like crazy. It's interesting that you know, they don't you know, form an ally with Monkey Kong. Atlas. Okay, Jumps Junior Squidge, Clambo. These are very pretty. These are pre-rendered, you know, pictures.
Nope, none of these baddies are in. They must have slipped in the wrong instruction manual or something.
Stop pulling my leg, Cranky. Cranky's advice.
Well, Sonny, in my days, we didn't have all this newfangled game. Play like in Donkey Kong Country. No, sirree. Your game players today are spoiled by all the pretty pictures and stereo sound, when all you really need is a great gameplay. Well, if you need some hints for this silly game, try these.
Tons of secret levels in this game. Secret levels, I don't think there are any secret levels, they're just secret bonuses. But maybe you can call them levels, those bonus rooms. Even jump on his head. What a novel idea. There is a way to collect every banana in the game if you try hard enough. Okay, but I don't think there's like a prize for that. I might be wrong. Maybe there is something that happens if you collect all the bananas. Maybe he's better at some things of his own. I don't think... The only thing that's different is that Donkey Kong can kill some heavier enemies. But it's not like Donkey Kong Country 2 where you actually need or usually have to use Dixie's spinning hair to reach things, reach places that Diddy cannot reach. The making of Donkey Kong Country. Okay, they are so proud of the game that they need to give some ego. you know, egoistic praise for their work. What makes the graphics of Donkey Kong Country so cool? Every image that you see on the game screen was actually designed on silicon graphic workstations. The same powerful computers that were used to create computer animation in movies like Jurassic Park and Terminator 2: Judgment Day. If this game is meant for kids, I don't think they are allowed to watch Terminator 2. Although I think in the 90s no one paid any attention to the, you know, ratings. So, you know, kids would probably have seen Terminator 2 already. But it's very interesting that they can mention Jurassic Park and Terminator 2. Maybe they got rights, or maybe they had to ask for permission to use these names because these are like trademarked names by some different companies. First, the artist for Donkey Kong Country created computer models of every character in the game and enemy as well. Computer models are basically three-dimensional images of the character that can be viewed on the computer from all the directions and in any pose. The character pictures in this manual are what the computer models looks like on a silicon graphic computer. The game designers took those models and translated the data into a format usable by the Super NES. Yeah, I wonder if they still have these wireframe models stored somewhere, so maybe they could be actually restored. And really make like a 4K restoration of Donkey Kong Country using these original wireframe models. Of course, they could just make them from scratch, but it would probably look like the same. The results are still spectacular and provide the most realistic and three-dimensional graphics ever seen in video games. Yeah, right. I think some of the Sega arcade games were years ahead of Donkey Kong Country in 1994. Like Sega Rally. We believe that this use of computers to design graphics will revolutionize the way games are made in the future, and Donkey Kong Country is just the beginning. So, did they make the backgrounds the same way, or are they just flat sprites? Pixel art? I'm not sure. I think at least the foreground background objects, you know, platforms and those are made by Silicon Graphics, but I don't know if the you know, background is, well, maybe everything is made using those pre-rendered wireframe graphics.
Does everyone ever actually use these memo pages? Waste of paper, if you ask me.
Well, I agree with Cranky this time because I never used any of these memo pages. You know, maybe you wanna you know, give these manuals to someone else or sell them, so it would, you know, it would lessen the price of the game. At least if it was a collectible game. If there was some notes there, you wanna have them in pristine condition.
Copy? Who would want to copy this game?
Okay. And that's the manual. Well, wasn't anything new, but it was quite funny anyway. And the story was quite interesting to read. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time.